Hello, this week in our seasonal crafts course we're going to do a bit of cross stitch. So in your pack you'll have a bit of cross stitch canvas, a skein of embroidery thread like this. So cut off, I don't know, about 30 centimetres length, and then the strands, there's 6 strands to the silks. So if you just pull 2 off the rest, they should come apart quite easily. Just be gentle, they should just come apart like that. And then you need to thread your needle. Now I've put some self-threading needles in our packs, so I'll go through how to thread a self-threading needle in the tutorial. It's really easy. I'm just going to tie a little knot in the end. This isn't best practice with embroidery. You're meant to just hold on to the end and then sew it in, but I don't want to frustrate ourselves too much, and no one's going to see the back. So with cross stitch you follow a chart. Cross stitch canvas is in a grid, and as you can see, basically you just count squares up, down and along. So I've chosen some letters, but before we go on to actually following a pattern, let's just learn how to do cross stitch. So you put your needle from behind and go through the hole, and then go diagonally across to the next hole in the square above. So as you can see, you go from one row diagonally across to the next hole on the other side. So you're just creating a little cross. Let me do that again. So diagonally from the top to one row underneath, and then in the other corner of that square, you just go back again. And quite quickly, you build up a little block of colour, and it's quite satisfying to do a little run of stitches. And you can use really simple straight lines and diagonal lines to make a design. Anyway, we've done a few stitches there. So the other way that you can build up your cross stitch is to do a row of diagonals. So say I had to do 3 or 4 stitches across. So I'm just going to do the half cross stitch. And you could use this as a stitch in its own right if you wanted something with a bit less of a full block of colour. And then you just go back over the other side. I think I've gone out of view a little bit. There we go. So you just build up little rows of crosses. You can get bigger grids, sort of larger hole sizes of the canvas, so they're not all quite as tight and small as the ones we've got. I'm using some leftover canvas, what I've sent you from an embroidery course we did a couple of years ago. So we've just been using up what we've got to hand. But there's a wide range of materials available for all of these embroidery things. Now then, we need to, when we've done the rows we want to, and we need to finish it off, you turn it over and just run your needle through stitches at the back a couple of times and just snip that off with your needle. As you can see, I'm not the neatest person on the back of my embroidery, but that's okay. So we've got the basics of it there. I've put a really good tutorial in with the email. So now I need to finish off my Y with a little arc there. So basically you're just following a chart. So I need to put 1 stitch just there, 1 across, and then 3 across the top, and then 2 more and another one. Now there are thousands of patterns free on the internet, really simple. I know mine's a little bit complicated. There are really simple designs on there. But the lovely thing with lettering is that, you know, you can say anything you want, really. And we're going to use this cross stitch next week as the basis for our lavender bags. So one half of the lavender bag will be the little cross stitch design you've made, and then that makes a lovely gift. So I've chosen the word joy. Now I'm going to go 3 across the top there, just because, you know, this year has not been the most joyful for the world, and I just wanted to remember the simple joy of making something with my hands, just nice and relaxing. So that's why I chose this word. You can choose, you know, any word you want. A name. Some people I've seen on the internet even sell these samplers that are all swear words. All sorts of different entertaining things can be done, and you can do loads of little motifs, little characters. Anyway, I'll put some links in the email. So basically now I'm going across the top here with these 3 stitches, and it just builds up slowly, and you are just following a little grid. So as long as you're counting and you're aware of what you're doing, and it's really, really good embroidery for keeping you in the moment. You know, you're keeping your hands busy. It is quite engaging. Right, so I need to go 1 to the right there and then down 2. You have to think about what you're doing to get the needle in the right hole, to make sure you're following the pattern. So if you're feeling anxious, if you're trying not to comfort eat or smoke, things like that, this is really great for something to do with your hands. So there we go. I'm doing another stitch there, and then I've just got 2 more to do. That'll be my word done, and then this can be 1/2 of my lavender bag next week when we tackle lavender bags. Here's my last stitch. Oh, and actually this built up really quickly. I did this in an evening last night in front of the fire, so you know, it is quite satisfying how quickly it can come together. There we go. So I'm going to make sure that that doesn't unravel by just going over the back a couple of times with my needle. I'm running low on thread, so there we go, snip. Brilliant. Oh, I'm going to get rid of a couple of the other loose ends. My textiles teacher at school would have been very disappointed in the messiness of the back of my work, but never mind, she's not going to see it. So there we go. See how you get on. As I say, I'll put links to different patterns. It is just a simple grid you follow, so hopefully we can find something simple or complicated enough for whatever your needs, and we'll see you in the Zoom.